Moving on. So the original's 84. We're jumping ahead. Yep. This is from 1992. Children of the Corn 2, The Final Sacrifice. Mark, this is my number one.
Number one.
What?
This is the best movie in the franchise.
This is the best one.
Yeah.
This is the best one.
It's what I said to you when before we started. I'm like, I think we're going to agree on our number one.
You called that.
And I don't think we're going to agree on any other.
Whoa. Yeah. Holy shit.
Okay.
This is the best one.
It still sucks.
But it sucks in the right ways.
Yeah, if you're going to watch one, this is the one.
It sucks in the right ways.
That's right.
That's the thing. It's just the right balance of schlock that it's fun.
It's the only one that is
super
even
fun.
Remotely fun.
Yes. Yeah, very fun.
There you go.
It's a good time, man. Yeah. Wow. Got to do the high five, buddy.
Final Sacrifice. Should have been the Final Sacrifice. Yeah.
I want to talk about the name for a second. This is the Final Sacrifice.
They let in with this way too early.
Like we got Friday the 13th Part 4 was called The Final Chapter.
Yeah.
Right? Obviously full of shit. Freddy's Dead was Part 6, and that was called Freddy's Dead. Obviously bullshit. To use a word like final is like a definitive word like that in the second entry is just so
good for you.
It's just so blasphemous.
Right.
And obviously they were completely full of shit. But so this film comes out 8 years after the original. It also marks the last theatrical entry in the whole franchise. I think one of them had a later. Yeah.
But like for all intents and purposes, like for the
one
bulk
of them,
these,
I think the 2021 had like a brief, theatrical run,
just to say
like,
that they did. But
exactly,
not really,
but not really. Yeah. It wouldn't have had like wide release, right? It opens. Let's get right into the plot. It opens with a credit sequence of ominous music playing over graphics of strange-looking cornfields. Oh, and I should say, Children of the Corn 2. With all of there's 11 entries. I do my best to source HD footage of these movies.
Yeah.
I had a fucking nightmare with a couple of these. So Children of the Corn Revelation, which is the 7th one, has no Blu-ray that I could find, has no HD transfer. So you're getting a standard def for that one. Children of the Corn 2, there is a Blu-ray in the UK. There's a UK release. I did my best to source the footage for you guys. I try to get you HD footage. So I ripped the DVD. I also screen captured. I had to watch it on like a pirate site, the HD version. It's a little janky. It's not the best. Guys, I did my fucking best.
Some of these are really tough to get.
Yeah. You're going to get a bit of, I'm going to cut between the standard definition and the HD transfer. Yeah. So in case you're wondering why the fuck did I keep doing that, it's because some of the HD footage I got, it didn't quite record properly.
It is 92 though, so I mean, how good could it possibly be?
This is the number one. This is the best Children of the Corn film, Mark. It broke my heart that I couldn't get a really good HD transfer. So somebody make that happen, okay? Somebody get me a 4K of Children of the Corn 2, The Final Sacrifice.
But just that one.
Exactly, we cut to a group of men entering a horrific crime scene where they find mutilated bodies all around this like basement area. Yeah. Cut to a reporter outside the building revealing this now active crime scene has over 50 corpses in the small town of Gatlin, Nebraska. And you realize we are watching the aftermath of the first film. So this is now, the authorities have come in, the police have shown up, the government's now involved. It's like, okay, now it's a crime scene. It's no longer a mystery cult town anymore. They also make a retcon, which I think was necessary, but they retcon only half the adults were killed. Did you catch that?
Yeah, because it attempts to account for one of the hugest plot holes of the first movie, where how is it in 3 years that no adult has ever stumbled upon this? Like you cannot tell me
it doesn't quite work. Right,
yeah. You know, which again is something that in a short story you can get away with because you're in and out so fast, right?
You're not going to think about it.
But in an hour and a half long movie, you start to think like, how is it that nobody has, like the adults haven't like swarmed this place? And I guess in part 2, they realize, yeah, okay, that's a little bit ridiculous. Let's try to answer for that. I don't like the response they came up with that only half the adults were killed, because that movie, in the first movie, that place was pretty destitute.
I know. But I have a counter to that as well, because you're actually following mostly the adults from the neighboring town.
Yeah, that's right.
The neighboring town of, it's going to come up here in a second, but a lot of the adults you're seeing were in that town that Bert and Vicky were trying to get to.
Yep.
And so this is the fallout from the first film, right? And now the remaining cult kids, they're like all like shell-shocked and they're like acting strangely, right? We then hard cut to our new protagonists, a father and son, Garrett and his teenage son, Danny. Yep. And they're on the way to the town so that Garrett can report on the story.
Town of Hemingford.
Hemingford. Okay, there you go. So then that was the neighboring town. That's the one that Vicky and Bert were trying to get to.
I think so.
Yeah,
maybe.
They were, because they do, because this is a direct sequel. It was we're following a lot of the people that were in the town beside Gatlin, which is like, okay, that's actually kind of clever. So I'm forgiving it a little bit. I think that one line where the guy's like, it looks like half the adults were killed. They should have just cut that line out, and it should have just been all the adults in the movie we're seeing are in the neighboring town.
Hemingford finally woke up and decided, hey, let's walk over and see what our neighbors are doing.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's a better way of looking at it. Meanwhile, the Corn children are loaded up on a bus meant to take them to the foster care system. Yeah. Suddenly, an old lady steps in front of the bus, protesting these children need to be punished and warning about how dangerous they are, including one very strange-looking boy dressed in all black. Garrett and Danny arrive in Gatlin and run into a woman named Angela, who runs a local bed and breakfast. Angela has also temporarily agreed to house one of the cult children, the goth-looking boy Micah, which was the creepy boy in black we just saw earlier. One of the news crews finds themselves in one of the cornfields as a familiar entity suddenly appears and attacks and kills both men. See, this is why I don't mind the entity being real, because when the entity's doing cool shit like this, go for it.
Right. There's nothing prestige about this movie. They're just like, all right, we're having fun.
Schlock, yeah. One of them gets killed by a huge fucking cornstalk to the throat. That shot is fucking awesome. Yeah. And this is the tonal shift.
Yeah.
First one, exactly what you said. It's trying to be a little bit better than it is.
Yeah.
The second one is like, it devolves.
We know what we are.
We know what we are. We're going to start giving you kill counts.
Yeah.
We're going to start.
There's a lot of corn in the neck in this one.
Yeah. This is a good time. Yeah. Garrett and Danny have a fight, and Danny storms off. He runs into a local hot girl named Lacey. That night, Micah ventures into the cornfield only to be attacked and possessed by the entity. We're also introduced, and actually, wait, I want to pause here for a second. I want to talk about Micah getting possessed. In the version you watched, how does Micah get possessed? Do you remember this?
I don't remember.
Okay, I'm going to jog your memory. There's two versions of this scene. So there's two versions of this film.
Okay.
I watched the HD newer transfer. I think you watched the DVD version that I gave you.
Yep.
Would have been in the collection.
Yeah.
In the DVD version, which was the original theatrical release, Micah goes through some like CGI portal. They do this wild scene. It looks like it's 90s as fuck. It looks like a 90s kids TV show. I discovered this by fluke. Yeah. It wasn't in while I was trying to get like rips of these to put into the editing software. I just happened to stumble on this and I went, I never saw this scene. Yeah. What is this? Yeah. I didn't realize there was multiple versions of this film. So in the version I saw, the newer version, they cut that out. That's all that CG's gone. And I gotta say, I wish they just left it because there's a charm to how bad it is.
Right. Yeah.
And it's
I was
wild.
Gonna say, so are you expected to just think that he was evil the whole time?
No. So you hear him, he goes off into the field and you hear him screaming, but you don't see what happens to him. And then he comes back and he's clearly possessed.
I mean, it is pretty
wild,
terrible, but
yeah.
it's the best
wild.
kind of terrible.
Yeah, it's good.
And the fact that it's early in the movie, again, helps set the tone for this one so that you know, okay, we can relax. This one's just going to be a fun ride.
Yeah.
So
So then we're also introduced to another group of corn children led by the older Mordecai, not Malachi, completely different Mark, who insists they still worship the entity. Micah then appears to the group, preaching they continue to keep faith and follow his guidance. Danny returns and Garrett continues to work on his story, giving the pair a reason to stick around in the town. Danny and Lacey meet up and start to form a little romance. Meanwhile, Micah uses some sort of his supernatural ability to kill one of the local adults. They're at like a church gathering, and he uses some sort of like voodoo magic to make the man's like head like
the best nosebleed you've ever seen.
Yeah, just kills him with some brutal fashion. John Garrett, I guess his first name was John. I just wrote down Garrett. Yeah, John Garrett continues his research and runs into a local Native American named Red Bear, who delivers a hilarious line. First, so he meets him and he starts, they did a good job with this. This was actually clever. He starts off and he starts like talking like in this mystic way of speaking, like, as if this is what happened to the town. And then he just drops all that and he's just like, nah, those kids just went apeshit and killed everybody.
Can you tell me anything about what happened around here?
Koyana Squatsi.
Excuse me?
Koyana Squatsi. It means life out of balance. Well, my ancestors would have told you that man should be at one with the earth, the sky, the water. But the white man has never understood this. He only knows how to take. And after a while, there's nothing left to take. So everything is out of balance. And we all fall down.
Wait a minute. So that's what happened here in Gatlin?
Well, no. What happened in Gatlin was those kids went apeshit and killed everybody.
That was a good subversion of your expectations. I liked that. I liked that character too. I think Red Bear is a fun little character. Micah works on Danny a bit and tries to get into his ear. Garrett interviews the local doctor, who's acting very suspicious. The doc then calls the sheriff and proclaims they're going to hell over what they've done. Later that night, he's brutally killed by the children. Garrett and Red Bear discover that the town's been hoarding corn crop from last year's harvest that has now gone bad. And the crop is actually growing toxic mold that has slowly been poisoning the air of the nearby residents, which you want to talk about, like, they could have left it ambiguous.
Yeah.
There you go, buddy. There's your reason. It's
there's your real world
answer,
as to why, it never had to be this beast. It could have just been people who are.
It could have been like a logical explanation, like a scientific, a grounded explanation. It didn't have to go supernatural.
That's right.
That being said, is it more fun? This one's way more fun than it is supernatural. But I found it interesting that they had that element of like, I know why it's here. It's not here to leave it ambiguous. It's here because in this entry, this is the first time, and a lot of the later entries do this. This is the first time they're trying to justify the kids' action a little bit.
They're vilifying the adults.
There
right?
it is. Yeah, because in the first one, the adults are just innocent. They're just people, right? Yeah. This is the first entry where they go, no, this was kind of an evil town.
Yeah, it's a
people
bit of
were doing bad shit.
Yeah, in the first one, it's a real stretch to go from. The motivation for the kids in the first one is that there is a corn drought, and they somehow jump from blaming the adults for it to somehow then jumping to any adult over the age of, starts off 19, then it becomes 18, is obviously a sinner, and it is their sins that cause the drought. Like it's a real stretch. Whereas in this second one, they try to come up with a real world explanation, but they don't really use it. They just use it for why kids don't like adults.
Yeah.
And not why the power behind them, right?
That's fine.
Yeah.
So then the sheriff shows up and he's like, wow, you guys shouldn't have seen this. And he ties up Garrett and Red Bear in the field. The town is planning, so there's like this conspiracy where the town is planning to mix the tainted crop with the good crop to make more money. So like rather than dispose of it like they should, they're going to mix in this toxic crop.
Real villainous plot.
Yeah, and sell it, right? The evil townspeople then gather together for a meeting where the children show up, trap them inside, and burn the fucking building to the ground, killing everyone in an awesome scene.
Yep.
Micah seemingly recruits Danny into the corn cult, presenting both Angela and Lacey as their newest sacrifices. But the ritual is interrupted by Garrett and Red Bear, who manage to escape and commandeer a harvester, which is what I called that. I think it's called a harvester. I'm not sure.
Or a combine.
I don't know
like
what the hell this farm
We don't know
is.
enough about it.
To our farm, farmland listeners.
To the 4-H club out there, we apologize for,
misnaming this equipment. Danny has a change of heart, rejecting the cult as all hell breaks loose. In the ensuing chaos, Micah gets sucked into the harvester and torn to pieces, ending in another epic fire blast.
Yep.
That's the plot of Children of the Corn 2. And if you looked at the desk, I actually put a little bit of Easter egg. I specifically put the corn on the VHS tape of Children of the Corn 2, buddy.
Oh, see, now I'm going to be watching for that forever.
I foreshadowed my number one pick here. Yeah, this one's fun.
I was going to get my t-shirt made with that, but I'm like, oh, that's going to get
I'm
away.
just instantly going to know. Yeah. You tend to just go for like the first entry
generic,
per se. Yeah. Keep it simple. There's a lot I like. There's a lot I think they do right. This is way more fun, way more entertaining.
Yep.
What do you think of Garrett and his son, Danny? What do you think of the father-son?
They I don't know. I mean, it's fine. They try to set up that what is it? It's John and Dan?
I've been calling him Garrett.
Garrett,
because
okay.
everybody calls him Garrett.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That
Garrett and Danny.
they don't get along. That
Yep.
they don't have the best
They're
relation.
estranged,
Yeah.
right? They're estranged.
And I guess over the course of the movie, they through this shared awful experience, they kind of rebuild their relationship.
But you know what? It actually works.
Yeah.
I think it works. It works for me.
Yeah.
I think it was an interesting choice. One of the things I'm gonna give this series credit for, because like you got 11 entries, you got to keep mixing up the formula. One of the surprising things this series does, they change the protagonist every entry.
Yep.
For the most part. Mm-hmm. Almost every entry is a unique protagonist.
Yep.
There's no one shows up, with the exception of like maybe twice, no one shows up again. So you don't have recurring characters.
Yeah.
And they constantly are playing with the dynamic of your protagonist.
Yeah.
So we got like newlyweds or like a young couple in the first one. Now we've got like, we're going from that to like an estranged father and son. Like it's a very big contrast. Yeah. Like that's an interesting choice.
Yeah.
They work for me as characters.
I didn't have a problem with them.
Yeah. I'd like that. This is very refreshing because movies do not do this. Rather than drag, so at the beginning of the film, they're estranged. Garrett is almost like dragging his teenage son along with him on this work trip. Danny has this chip on his shoulder and like resents his father because his father was like a very absent guy. He was not.
Yeah, and he's also, I think he's kind of failed in his career choice.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so he's a reporter, but he's not very good at it. He's not very well.
He's not well respected.
Right. Yeah. You know, his some of his peers take every opportunity to laugh at him. So I don't think that Danny has much respect for his father.
No.
Which I think is a good way to lead in, because at some point you have to find a way to separate the kids from the adults. So they're bringing him in already having that distance from his father.
Yeah.
Right. Which makes him susceptible to being kind of wooed by the corn kids.
Right. Yeah. But I like early in the movie, it was like normally when you do a movie like this, if they have this kind of dynamic, the entire fucking runtime is going to be the teenager just taking pot shots at the father and just, like, you don't know me, man. Like, and being all angsty. Garrett calls him out at the fucking, I think it's the 16-minute mark.
Just love these father and son chats.
Oh, come on. Give me a break, please.
Why? What for? What did you ever do for me? Oh, you got my mother pregnant, and here I am.
Hey, you listen to me now. Your mother and me, we just couldn't make it work. We had our own agendas.
And that didn't include me?
No, it didn't. As a matter of fact, it didn't. Now, I'm not going to bullshit you about this. I was 17 years old, and I made a mistake. Now, you deal with that any way you can. I'm still trying to figure it out. If you can figure it out better than me, that's fine. But who you are is up to you, buddy. Good or bad, the choice is yours.
Yeah. I can admit and move past my mistakes, and I'm trying to work on this relationship. Yeah. You can either hate me forever, but that's your choice. So you need to get. Oh, he calls out Danny.
Yeah.
He calls him out for being an angsty little teenager and just going like, if this is who you want to be, this is who you want to be, but you need to get the chip off your shoulder, buddy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Put down your violin.
Right. It's not gonna help anybody to keep resting on the past and what's.
But that's so refreshing that right off the bat they hash that out.
Cut that out.
Movies don't do that, right?
No.
And I mean, he doesn't really get the message until later on.
Yeah.
They do pay off the relationship. They slowly bond. They bond more at the end. But so that worked for me. I liked their relationship.
Yep.
Garrett is such a stronger protagonist than both Vicky and Bert.
Yeah.
Now, why do you I know why I think it, but what's your thought on?
Well, again, we've seen this in the past where if you want to give a protagonist a reason to dig into something, make them a reporter, right? So he has that drive to find out,
right?
Which propels the plot forward,
right?
And,
so having the protagonist be a reporter in the second one. It just makes more sense why he would be trying to explore the town's history.
Because otherwise, why is he coming here at all?
Right, exactly. It's not like Vicky. It's not like you just stumbled on this place.
And at the first point of resistance, any other character would just leave, right? But he's like, no, that only asks more questions. It only causes me to want to go in deeper to sort of figure this out.
Unlike Bert, who was trying to get away, Garrett wants to be there.
Yeah.
He wants to uncover the mysteries of this town, the conspiracies of this town.
He starts to realize, hey, this could be the story that puts me back on the map, right? So he's not going anywhere. Yeah.
He works. They give him motivation. That works.
Yep.
Isn't that crazy? If you give a character actual motivation, they're interesting to watch. I liked watching him going around. They pair him up with Red Bear, and the two of them kind of start investigating together. I don't know. That worked for me. They're kind of like an odd couple.
Kind of like a buddy cop thing at the end.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. That worked for me. I liked the whole town conspiracy. I thought was cool. They're not only exploring the religious cult, they're also exploring the actual conspiracy as well. It works. Yeah. It's funny.
It shouldn't work, but it does.
It does work because we got I want to compare this to Hellraiser because you got Hellraiser multiple times. We have the fucking reporter character.
Yeah.
Well, there's the one in the third one, and I'm trying to think. Isn't there another one that we follow a fucking reporter? I'm pretty sure in two of them you
There's
do.
Deader.
Yes, thank you, Deader. That's the other one. I was going to say there's an investigator journey. Yeah. Both those protagonists didn't work for me.
No.
Yeah, I don't know specifically in 3. I really didn't like her, but 3 had all kinds of issues otherwise. But for this one works more for me. I think it's because I'm immediately contrasting it with Bert and Vicky that just have no agency.
Yep.
So when you have a character that has agency, that wants to be there, wants to be digging into these things, I think that's so much more interesting.
Yeah.
I like Garrett and Danny.
I mean, it's easier to victimize Bert and Vicky, but then they don't really do that, right? That's another thing in the original short story. They don't get out. They both
die.
Yeah. Whereas in the first movie, everything's fine.
Yeah.
And then they actually end up adopting a couple kids. So, good news ending. No. There's no, how do you can't let anyone leave, right? So, yeah.
Mark, you take it away. You like what do you got? What works for you, buddy?
I'll give you a little bit of a little bonus. There's a couple cameos in this movie. Did you catch them? I know that this franchise is wrought with cameos, but there's a couple.
There's some big ones coming up.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what I would.
These are not like high end ones that you would necessarily recognize.
Right. What do you got, Mark?
The lead female character, whose name escapes me at the moment.
The Angela, the one that runs the bed and breakfast.
She was in an episode of Seinfeld. She was in the George is a marine biologist.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
She's the one that dates him because she thinks that he's a marine biologist.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah.
Lacey,
the blonde girl that
was in Nightmare on Elm Street 2. She was the young sister.
I did know that. Yeah, I did know that. I didn't point it out because Elm Street 2.
Yeah, wow.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I did know that actually. Yeah. I did catch that one because I always look at their IMDb's and I saw Elm Street 2, but then I saw the character she plays and I was like, oh, did she even have a line?
I don't think so.
That's what I mean. I don't even think she had a line.
She's horror royalty at this point.
She's standing there. Yeah. She's there.
Some of the kills in this movie.
You want to just
Were
immediately
the
get to the
best,
kills?
yeah.
Okay, all right. Let's get to the kills because I have so much to talk about. But the kills in this, in particular, are so fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking before we started filming, am I going to have to use my once per show montage, or is Justin just going to do this because he's going to... I figured if you didn't have this movie rated high, I would have to use my once per episode.
I don't think we need to do a compilation, but we're going to talk about each one because they're good, right? So it starts off with the I think there's the first kill is like the reporter kill.
The corn stalk right through the front windshield.
Fucking awesome.
Loved it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the other guy is in the field and like the corn like slices his throat. And it's like one of the things that actually surprised me about these movies, and one thing I will say is like, if you actually are a fan of this franchise in particular, they give you decent body counts.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
A lot of them. Not all of them.
Yeah.
But the early ones in particular, but with the exception of one. One has nothing, but one is just whatever. There's some good kills and like some fun kills. So if you're a body count guy, dude, check out Children of the Corn.
Yeah.
There's some actual kills here.
You don't necessarily get to see them killed, but right at the start when they go down into the basement, you see all the bodies. Some of them are pretty pretty mangled. They use their effects budget pretty wisely. Yep.
So we've got the house falls on the old lady. There is 2 old lady kills in this movie, and they are both excellent. There's like there's the one lady in town who's like, I don't trust those corn kids. They're evil, right?
They put a poop cross on her front door.
Yeah. And they're like
corn cross.
and they're like fucking with her for most of the runtime.
Yep.
And then I think it's at like the halfway point, or maybe the 1/3 point. And she's actually going to move her home. Mm-hmm. So her home is lifted on like jacks.
Yep.
And the kids like put her cat under the house to lure her under it, and then they just
lower the hydraulics.
And
just drop the house on her. and the like satisfied smile on their face. Just they're like, yeah, we did that. Yeah, love it.
The kill in the church is awesome. That effect was great. Yeah. The blood geyser.
He's got the
so he's got like a little like a wooden
voodoo doll.
Yeah, right. And Micah
just starts
like picking at it, and then the guy starts bleeding a little bit, and then it just starts.
Then he's bleeding a lot of it.
Yeah, and then it's like a geyser of blood out of this guy's. I think it comes out of his ears too.
Yeah. The coolest part about it for me is like if you've ever been in a situation where we've all experienced this.
A man's face exploding in blood.
Yeah, no.
100%.
But you're in a formal setting that you can't necessarily excuse yourself, and something starts to happen, right? Yeah, and you're like, you have that moment where you're like, okay, how do I handle this? How do I get out of here with some sort of decency and self-respect? And at what point am I just going to have to bite the bullet and run out of here? Maybe in this case, he gets a nosebleed and he doesn't quite have enough, tissues to kind of sop it up. And he realizes he's like, this is getting out of hand.
And you see this poor guy.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden
it just escalates.
Yeah. Maybe he didn't, crap himself or something like that. Right. But, we all dread this moment where we're like, what if I'm stuck in the business meeting?
You're the focus of attention.
And
all eyes on you.
And suddenly I get the gurgles.
Right. One of the things this movie does smartly is, unlike the first film where all the adults are just gone by the opening of but by the time Bert and Vicky get there, they're all gone. Mm-hmm. This movie kind of lets you see the process a little bit. Like they stretch it out. Yep. So the kids become slasher villains, right? Because in the first one, I always got the impression they basically wiped out all the adults within like 24 hours or something like that, right? This one is like, we got a whole new batch of kids, whole new batch of adults. We get to slowly see them pick off residents in the town,
right?
To comedic fact, and it's entertaining.
They're not secretive about it either.
No. But like, it's always like they do something. It's not like they're just going around hacking people though, but you can't 100% prove they're doing it, but you know they're doing it in a sense, right? The needle stabbing scene is great.
The doctor?
Yeah,
Yep.
they stabbed the shit out of that fucking doctor, the needles.
Yep.
My favorite kill in the entire franchise.
Everyone's favorite kill. If it isn't your favorite kill, you haven't even told me, and I know what you're going to say.
The RC lady in the wheelchair. That is so stupid, but so fucking fun. I didn't know what to expect from Children of the Corn 2. I didn't know what to expect with any of these entries. When I got to this scene, I was ear to ear, buddy. It starts off with like there's this like I don't remember. This is another one of the ladies in the town that I don't think it's the same lady from the house. It's somebody else. It's another lady that just also hates the kids. And it opens with like she's in like a motorized wheelchair, and Micah and his like little posse of corn cult kids. Micah like takes out a remote control, like this big RCA, like an RC, like for an RC car, and he's like, "Watch this."
Oh, thank you did scare me, you little punk! Got it!
Watch this.
And the fact that he says "watch this" to me adds so much more to the scene. Because to me it's like they're getting joy out of this. You know what I mean? And also keep in mind, Micah's possessed at this point. So this isn't a teenager being a little shit. This is it's like the he who walks behind the row also has a sense of humor.
Right.
Like he wants to have fun here. And then how it works, who cares? Somehow how does he get this remote control? How does that work? Who fucking cares?
We don't ask those questions.
His remote control somehow magically controls the wheelchair lady's wheelchair, like the electronic wheelchair. And he starts just fucking with her and then makes her go out into traffic where she gets annihilated by isn't it like a transport
It's a big,
truck?
massive truck.
Yeah.
That basically punts her through the
Through
intersection.
the glass.
And into the glass of this bingo hall. Yeah. The best, and it's the best, worst use of flying dummies you'll ever see, because they basically just launch this dummy in a wheelchair through this big plate glass window into this bingo hall. It creates this massive chaos, but the guy in the bingo hall still stands up. Bingo?
Oh, 65.
Yeah!
Bingo?
Yeah, they had a little joke.
Just
They had the little joke.
bingo?
Yeah. It's great. It was great. Yeah. Fantastic kills. I want to talk about Micah. The actor who plays Micah is Ryan Bollman, who I don't really know from anything else. He's just kind of one of these flash in the pan careers. Like I'm sure he was in other things, but he's not prominent other than this. He is so fun.
Awesome.
He is awesome.
Dude, wherever you are, man, I wish you had done more.
Dude, Micah fucking rules because Micah is Isaac if Isaac was kind of a little shit.
Like a little bit more fun than he is.
Yeah, because Isaac is menacing. Isaac's spooky and scary.
Yeah.
Micah is more playful.
That's right.
And he nails this role.
Like masochistic.
What's interesting because I also feel bad for Micah because this, unlike Isaac's like a true believer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Micah at the beginning of the movie is actually just a kid, right? The 20-minute mark, he gets possessed. So the Micah you're seeing for the majority of the runtime is actually not Micah, it's possessed Micah. Yeah. So you're actually seeing the deity, the entity possessing him walking around. But that being said, the performance we get out of it is so good. He's just, he constantly has like this shit-eating like grin on his face. Like he knows he's doing all this evil shit, but you can't prove it. And he kind of like, he has this like look of like, we're better than you.
And like,
people.
what are you going to do to me?
Like,
right.
Yeah. Like I'm a kid. He has like this quiet arrogance to him. But Isaac was kind of like, Isaac ruled by intimidation.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like, if you don't follow the entity's law, you'll be punished. Micah actually is not like that. Micah can blend in.
Yeah.
Micah actually just seems like an asshole teenager.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I love the scenes between him and Danny, where he like is trying to relate to him.
Danny, I used to have problems with my father too. Adults are such hypocrites. It's like the moment a person turns 19, they become this thing.
What thing?
Well, with my father, if we listen to the radio, we sinned. If we talk to girls, we sinned. And every sin demanded a beating to chase away the devil. And then one day, I caught my father with the farmhand's wife, sinning most vigorously.
And they played that really well, where when Danny has that turn, Micah's gotten into his ear, it seems more believable.
Yeah. He's Angela's son, right?
No,
he's not.
Angela adopts him because the other town, that the town of, what is it? Was it Hemingsford?
Yeah.
Those adults are adopting, like they're temporarily sheltering the kids from the first movie.
Okay, so she
Micah,
takes him in.
what she takes in Micah,
Okay.
it's not Micah's son.
Right.
It's not Angela's son.
Yeah.
So he's being just taken in. They have like no dialogue because most of the movie Micah's
I think
walking
the
around.
four of them appear in a dinner scene once.
At the beginning of the movie, yeah. And it's before Micah's possessed even.
Yeah.
It's just literally, again, Micah's just like a awkward little shy kid right at the beginning. But yeah, no, he's great.
Yeah.
He fills that role so well. He's charismatic.
Yeah.
Like Micah to me is more believable as a cult leader than,
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
than Isaac.
Right. Which is interesting because he's possessed, so you understand why he's doing it. But how would all of these other kids follow him? Well, you got to be a cult of personality
Gotta have
character at
charisma.
that point. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Hell, I'd follow him.
right. Isaac feels like Damien
Yeah.
from The Omen,
Yeah.
whereas Micah feels like Jim Jones. Like he could talk
right.
you into
Yeah.
things, right? Yeah, it's great. Yeah, his portrayal is fantastic.
He's like you. If you were in one of these movies, you'd be.
I would definitely be
You're
a
a
Micah.
you're a Micah.
I mean, debatably I am. I mean, I got you to watch 11
I
children's
know.
court films, right?
But I don't believe though.
I got into that ear quite a while
That's
ago.
right.
You believe in the cult of slash cinema.
That's right.
And maybe I'm working my magic on you
all
folks
believe.
right now.
Yeah.
You believe you're watching us or listening. There's actually a sad moment with Micah though. This actually, so this is funny. In the version you watched, it's not in it. But in the version I watched, it is in it. Why they made this change, I don't know. So, or I might have that backwards, but one of the versions they changed, because when Micah dies at the end, he gets pulled into like the harvester.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
In the version you watched, what happens to Micah?
I think I know what you're talking about. He turns into a beast,
Right.
for like a moment, and his like face starts to,
Yep. Yeah, and then he just gets sucked into the thing,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
and then I think he gets blown out the back. doesn't
Right,
he?
yeah. So in the version I watched, this scene is completely different, and I prefer this version. So in the version I watched, his face does do the warping, but before that happens, when Micah's getting pulled into the column, into the harvester, Micah starts screaming for Danny's help.
Somebody help me! Danny, please!
Come on, Daddy, come on!
Please, Danny, you're my friend!
Danny, get the girls and get out of here!
Danny, please! I was there for you!
I said get out of here now!
Please, Danny, you're my friend!
He starts screaming for his help, and he literally says, he's like, Danny, you were my friend. We're friends. And it's actually a really sad moment because they don't show it in your version, the audio is like lowered and you can't hear him talk. And not only that, they put a demonic filter on his voice. So it seems like the entity is is trying to trick Danny.
Yeah.
Somebody help me! Danny, please!
Daddy, come on!
Please, Danny, you're my friend! Danny, get the girls and get out of here! I said get out of here now!
But in the version I watched, it's like the entity has lost power, and now you get to see the real Micah come out, and it's actually sad.
It's just Micah that dies.
It's just Micah that dies.
Yeah,
And
no,
you-
he's definitely still evil when he gets churned up.
No, in the version
Yeah.
I have, you see it, and there's a moment where the entity. So when the entity like starts warping his face, it leaves his body.
Yep.
And like it tries to protect itself, and then you see Micah's realization where he comes back and he has control of his body again, and it's sad because
As he's like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh.
and he gets pulled into the harvester. Yeah.
So which version would you recommend people watch then?
Watch the version that I watched. Watch the
So you
newer
don't-
HD version.
You don't get the weird warp
you lose
portal?
this, yeah. You lose the warp portal CGI, and that's awesome. But no, I mean, I don't know. Also it's HD, so
Yeah,
I mean, wouldn't you want to
that's
watch
true.
the HD version anyways?
Yep.
Yeah. So
I got a speaking of that harvester scene, I got a
Hmm.
Austin Powers vibe because he seems like he's driving forever.
it's so slow. I know it's so slow. Now, in the defense of the movie, those machines are very slow.
Yeah, yeah.
They actually are.
So just walk out of the way.
Nope. That's not how
No,
that
you
works, right?
once it's
No.
coming at
Yeah.
you have to stand there
It
and take it.
vortexes you
That's
in.
right.
Yeah.
John throws a spear right through a kid. Loved it. Like as someone who never gets to see kids
Get it.
get it in these movies, to see John just rear up and go, ugh. It's like, ugh. Do you believe that Danny ever got truly pulled in, or was he just doing that as a way to be able to then set up when he saves?
No, I think he
Lacey?
was. I think he
Yeah?
was influenced. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Danny was influenced. And again, this is another good thing that the sequel. So like I wanted to talk about this. How does this work as a sequel? It works great as a sequel. I love movies that take place the next day. Like anytime you do a thing where it's like, no, it's immediately right after. And then let's expand and play with that. Genius move. It's not in Gatlin. It's in Hemingsford.
Yeah.
Hemingsford, the town that was teased in the first one. The residents of Hemingsford, they didn't realize how bad things had gone in Gatlin.
Yep.
So you get to see that fallout right at the beginning of the movie.
Yep.
And then now we get, there was these other kids. And yeah, you could just argue that Micah's is a copy of Isaac, but he's not really. He doesn't really act like him. And Micah is actually the entity. So it's not even really Micah.
Yeah.
I will say that it's not Malachi. I've already forgotten his name. The other Malachi, the new Malachi, it's kind of pointless. That's obviously a copy. There's the other, he has like another enforcer.
Right.
Mordecai.
Mordecai.
Yeah, I think it's Mordecai. So like some things are direct copies, but it also works where, because you could say, it's cheap, where it's like, there was these other kids that we never saw. Yeah, but that actually works because in the first movie, you're talking about a town full of kids. You're telling me you saw all the kids?
Right.
You didn't see all the kids.
Yeah.
There was all kinds of kids. It's believable that there was more kids that you didn't see.
Yeah.
Like that, how is that a stretch?
And they grow into their roles too, right? Like, so this was like I guess, not long after the first one. So maybe they haven't aged that much, but part of the process of this is that as you hit they have a term for it, the age of
whatever. It's when they consider you an adult.
Yeah. You walk into the cornfields and die, and then like a new group sort of rises up to take over, right?
Yeah.
So
No, Jonah the Corn too, buddy.
Yeah, man.
I'm so glad you agree with me on this
Yep.
one. I don't think we're going to agree on any of the other ones, but I'm glad we got one.
Yeah,
we got our one.
We got the most important one.
It's fun.
Yep.
It doesn't take itself seriously. It's got all the beats of a corn film. It's got fun kills. I don't know what else to say, man.
It feels like a slasher though. So
Yeah, but I'm
get to-
okay with that.
No, in the best way possible, right?
Yeah. I don't have a lot of is it an amazing movie? No.
Yep.
But I mean, like,
I think it does benefit from coming right after the first one.
because the first one's so
Because the first
slow.
one's just so dry. Yeah.
Yeah, but even comparing it to the rest of these, it's just, you have likable villains,
It's the
likable
one-
protagonists.
It's the one that, similar to Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, where I'm like, oh man, I really wish I could have watched this with Justin.
We would have had a blast
Yeah.
watching this. Yeah, this one's good.
Yep.
Yeah.